Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Ashara Dayne video. I'm using Ned Stark as a stand-in because there's no real good media for Ashara Dayne. She hasn't appeared on the TV show. There's no real pictures of her in the books, and there are not even that many pictures from House Dayne anyway. That's okay though. We still have a couple more seasons. We could see someone on the show in a flashback maybe. I've already done an Arthur Dayne video and I talk a little bit about the history of House Dayne in general in that, so I'm not going to repeat that. This is mostly going to be about Ashara Dayne's later life. Most people, when they talk about Ashara Dayne, talk about how she's kind of looped in with the mystery behind Jon Snow's parentage, because a lot of people think that in the wake of the Tower of Joy incident, Ned Stark took Dawn, House Dayne's ancestral blade, back to their home of Starfall, where Ashara Dayne was, gave it to her, and then he walked away with baby Jon Snow in tow. A lot of characters inside the narrative in the books as well as on the show think that she is Jon Snow's mother, just because of all those coincidences. Including Catelyn Stark, she suspects that Ashara Dayne is the person that Ned was unfaithful with. Now just rewind a little bit, just to add some context to who she is. She doesn't sound like much of a character when she's only mentioned in rumors, but she's very beautiful, supposedly coveted by a lot of people, including Eddard Stark, but also his brother, Brandon Stark. The only real encounters that George R. Martin has written about her are relative to the tourney at Harrenhal, the really infamous tournament with the Knight of the Laughing Tree, as well as Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark's encounter. But it was a huge tournament. Most of the kingdom was there, so a lot of other stuff was going on too. In the books, Barristan Selmy talks about her in retrospect. He was one of the people that was infatuated with her, so at the tourney of Harrenhal, he had hoped to win the tournament and honor her. Obviously, it didn't go down that way. Rhaegar Targaryen ended up winning and honored Lyanna Stark with the crown of blue roses. But bitter Barristan Selmy, say that 5 times fast, believes that at the tourney of Harrenhal, someone dishonored her. He doesn't know exactly who it is, but he believes that as a result of that, she had a stillborn child and it led to her committing suicide by jumping off the battlements at Starfall. And you have to remember that Starfall is in the mountains of Eastern Dorne, so it'd almost be like someone jumping through the moon door in the Vale. Now that's really sad already, and she didn't commit suicide till after Ned Stark came back to Starfall, but I would say, coupled with the idea that her brother had died, he carried Dawn, their ancestral blade, so when Ned brought it back, it was proof that he was dead. So that probably just compounded any potential grief if she really did have a stillborn child. There's no actual evidence for a stillborn child, so we just have to include it in the rumors. Barristan Selmy is a very honorable person, so he's not going to openly lie about something, but if he's really bitter about something that happened a long time ago in the past, his memory of events might not be 100%. Now the best fan theory I've seen that relates to Ashara Dayne, Tourney of Harrenhal, being dishonored is Brandon Stark, because he also took the maidenhead of Lady Dustin. This is where things get a little relationshipy, because if you remember, originally Brandon Stark was betrothed to Catelyn. She only married Ned after Brandon was killed by the Mad King along with their father. But if you remember Catelyn's sister being really crazy about the love triangle that the three of them had with Littlefinger, it's kind of the same deal with Lady Dustin and Brandon Stark. She just claims that Brandon never wanted to marry Catelyn. And while I don't think that Brandon Stark is quite the man whore that Robert Baratheon is, I think if he was willing to take Lady Dustin's maidenhead, then he would probably be willing to have sex with other women too before they got married. Brandon is just said to be one of the many highborn people that was infatuated with Ashara Dayne. So think about it this way, Ashara Dayne has a stillborn child in proximity to when Jon Snow is actually born. Ned Stark maybe finds him at the Tower of Joy, born to his sister Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen, and sees a really easy way to protect everyone's honor and hide Jon Snow's true lineage so that nobody wants to kill him, so that like Robert Baratheon doesn't want to smash his face in. Now even if that's true, even if he's protecting his brother's honor as well as Ashara Dayne's honor and his sister's honor and Jon Snow's life, things still end very, very badly for Ashara Dayne. She still jumps off the battlements, although there is a fan theory that she potentially went to the east and took a new persona. I always have to admire people's theories about certain characters secretly being other characters. There is a theory that Ashara Dayne secretly took the persona of Quaithe and went to the east with Dawn, and that Dawn is Lightbringer. Or I should say, the true version of Lightbringer, because, technically in Season 2 when Melisandre sets Stannis' sword on fire and it starts burning, they call that Lightbringer. If you choose to take things in a literal way, then yeah, some of the properties of Dawn do sound a lot like Lightbringer, like the dull glow that it gives off. The fact that it was made from a comet that crashed on Planetos from a meteor. I mean, it's the meteor blade, if you want to make some Final Fantasy jokes. But there really isn't a lot of evidence to back that up, and nothing I've seen on the show so far supports either of those theories. So hopefully that gives you guys some more context for Ashara Dayne now. We don't know if we're ever going to see her on the TV show, but if they're going to do a Tower of Joy flashback, then they might also do some Starfall. And she was there at that time whenever Ned Stark brought Dawn back. There haven't been any castings to confirm that, so the show could totally cut her out. But let me know in the comments, do you think that Ashara Dayne had a stillborn child with Brandon Stark, with Ned's older brother, if he was the kind of person that slept around and they were all in proximity at the tourney of Harrenhal and super drunk? Just think about the honorable person that Ned Stark is and what he might have done in that situation to protect everyone involved, Jon Snow, Ashara Dayne, and his brother Brandon Stark, and what Barristan Selmy remembers about it. Even if his memory might be a little bit twisted, he's an honorable person too. So I think it's more realistic to believe that Ned Stark had absolutely nothing to do sexually with Ashara Dayne, even though she was a proven hottie. If you're one of those fans that really likes to write fanfiction, there is a lot of Ashara Dayne fanfiction out there. I generally try to avoid that kind of stuff, but if you really enjoy it, then it's definitely out there for you to find. Hopefully Martin will write some more into the canon about her, either in Winds of Winter or Dream of Spring. And just for reference, a lot of people, the most popular belief right now is that Winds of Winter will be done in spring of 2016. But speaking of books, we actually have a new giveaway winner to announce. Congratulations to Christopher Roll. You win a copy of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Kindle, paperback, whatever you want. Just be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact info. There's supposed to be a new Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer on Monday. In case that ends up dropping, my Q&A video for this will just end up posting later in the week. It's always a bummer to have to bump videos, but I feel like when it's a Star Wars trailer that you're getting bumped for, you can't be too mad about that. But while you guys wait for my next video, you can click here to learn all about Arthur Dayne's history in the books, and you can click here to catch up with Walking Dead before tonight. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys in a couple hours.